Hello, welcome back. In this lecture, I will be discussing about the neutron transport equation, which is also called as Fick's law of diffusion. This neutron transport equation is important to understand how this neutron gets diffused in a medium, and also this plays very important role in understanding the neutrons that gets leaked out of a given volume. This neutron transport equation can be deduced by using many exact theories, but here we use a basic diffusion model in which we make these assumptions. We assume that all neutrons are monoenergetic, that means each and every neutron have same energy. Scattering is isotropic, that means scattering is same from all the directions, and the absorption cross section is small in comparison with the scattering cross section, and the neutron flux do not change rapidly with position. With these assumptions, we try to deduce Fick's law of diffusion, for which we consider this kind of geometry. We assume that there is an elemental surface ds where this neutron density calculation is made. We imagine a sphere around it from which we get neutrons from all the directions. We have assumed that the neutron scattering is isotropic, so we expect neutrons from all directions. We will be having some scattering centers all around, so those scattering centers, they reflect the neutrons towards ds, or they scatter the neutrons towards ds. I have taken one such elemental volume dV, which is at a distance r from ds, and this ds is kept at origin, and this elemental volume that makes an angle theta with z axis, and its projection makes an angle phi with the x axis. The neutron flux depends on these quantities: the number of neutrons that is scattered from the volume elements, the velocity of these neutrons, and this d omega. D omega is the solid angle through which these neutrons get scattered. Our intention is to derive this equation. This is what you originally find in diffusion theories. J is equal to some constant with a negative sign into gradient of n, where n is the number of neutrons here. But for the present case, the equation will be this one: J is equal to minus d grad phi, because we assume that the neutrons are monoenergetic. That means each and every neutron possess same amount of energy. Therefore, flux can be written as product of n into V, and this V is constant. Each and every neutron possesses same kinetic energy, their velocity is same. If you substitute for phi in the previous equation, you will see that this phi basically is equal to nV, therefore n is equal to phi by V. And if you substitute for n in the previous equation, we have J is equal to minus d grad n, but n is equal to phi by V. Hence, you will see that this 1 by V will come out, and that d naught by V, I have taken it as d. Hence, for the present form, the Fick's law can be written as J is equal to minus d grad phi. This is the equation which we intend to derive in this class. For that, we need to calculate three important things. First one is this one: the number of scattering collisions taking place at dV per second. That depends on the flux at dV and the volume of the element, and also the probability of these collisions. The probability basically is sigma, is given by sigma, that is called as macroscopic cross section, which is sum of absorption cross section and scattering cross section. But in the assumptions we have made, the absorption cross section can be negligible when compared with the scattering cross section. Therefore, sigma can be written as just nearly equal to sigma s itself. Hence, the number of scattering collisions at dV per second is sigma s phi into dV. This is the first important thing that we need to calculate. And the second thing is the fractional angle subtended by ds at the scattering point, that is at dV. We have imagined a sphere around the elemental surface ds, which is kept at origin. Therefore, the total area is 4 pi r square, and the angle subtended by ds with respect to dV is ds cos theta. And you can notice that it is maximum when theta is 0, because cos 0 is 1. Hence, the fractional angle subtended by ds at scattering point is ds cos theta divided by 4 pi r square. But remember, all the neutrons which are scattered from dV will not reach ds. What happens is they follow this probability. As they propagate in a medium, they follow this law. It is e to the power of minus sigma r. But sigma once again is the macroscopic cross section, which can be written as sigma a plus sigma s, but our assumption says sigma a is very small compared to sigma s. Therefore, e to the power of minus sigma r can be written as nearly equal to e to the power of minus sigma s into r. Hence, the total number of neutrons which actually reach ds from the volume element dV is the product of all the three things which I said: the collision, the fractional angle subtended, and the probability. Now this dV, we are working in spherical coordinates. This dV should be replaced by its equivalent in spherical coordinates. You know that the volume element in spherical coordinate system can be written as r square sin theta dr d theta into d phi. And if you substitute for this dV and if you rearrange this equation, then the number of neutrons reaching ds per second from volume element dV is given by this equation. If you want to calculate the total number of neutrons which are reaching ds per second in the negative z direction, that is obtained by integrating this equation. You have to integrate this equation with respect to r, theta and phi coordinates. And the limits of integrations will be like this: r varies from 0 to infinity, phi varies from 0 to 2 pi, and theta varies from 0 to pi by 2. And if you integrate the previous equation with respect to r, theta, phi coordinates with these limits of integration, then you get this equation. To integrate this equation, we need to expand this phi. We can use any expansion method, but here we have used Taylor series for expansion. This phi can be expanded by using Taylor series in this way. You can write this phi is equal to some phi naught constant plus x into dou phi by dou x at origin. This subscript O represents this is calculated at origin, plus y into dou phi by dou y at origin, plus z into dou phi by dou z at origin, plus you will be having some terms like x square into dou 2 phi by dou x square, plus y square into dou 2 phi by dou y square, etc. Those higher order terms can be neglected. Now you have to replace all the variables that we used in the Cartesian coordinates with spherical coordinate systems. We have transition equations. You can convert these variables from one coordinate system to other coordinate system. We can use x. For x, we have r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to r cos theta. So, using these relations, we can transform from Cartesian coordinate system to spherical coordinate systems. And if you use these substitutions, and when you are calculating the number of neutrons in one particular direction, here we are doing it for z direction, therefore you can neglect these two, because this will not make any contribution, because this is from x direction and this is with respect to y coordinate. They do not contribute. So if you are calculating in z direction, only this phi naught plus z into dou phi by dou z at 0, that is at origin, that is enough. And you have to remember that you have to use another substitution, z is equal to r cos theta. And if you do that, if you calculate this number of neutrons reaching the surface ds from negative z direction, I will call it as j minus ds, will be equal to this one. And if you carry out this integration, it reduces to a simple form. J minus will be equal to phi naught by 4 plus 1 by 6 sigma s dou phi by dou z at origin. Similarly, the neutron density in the negative we have done, in the positive z direction, that is obtained just by replacing plus by minus sign. This is anyway constant. That direction dependence is only through the second term. For negative z direction, j minus is phi naught by 4 plus 1 by 6 sigma s dou phi by dou z at origin. For the positive z direction, you get minus sign here in between. The net current density, if you want, the net current density will be j plus minus j minus. You have to take the difference. This is phi naught by 4 minus phi naught by 4. It will cancel. We have minus 1 by 6 sigma x and minus 1 by 6 sigma s. Then it will become 2 divided by 6 sigma s into dou phi by dou z at origin. Hence j z, that is the net current density in the positive z direction, will be equal to minus 1 by 3 sigma s dou phi by dou z at origin. This reciprocal of scattering cross section can be replaced by scattering mean free path, that is equal to 1 by sigma s is equal to lambda s. Once if you do that, jz will be equal to minus lambda s by 3 into dou phi by dou z at origin. Similarly, the number density, that is the number of neutrons from along the net currents we are taking, net current along positive x direction will be equal to minus lambda s by 3 dou phi by dou x at origin, and net current density along the positive y direction will be equal to minus lambda s by 3 dou phi by dou y at 0. Therefore, the total current, neutron current density is a vector quantity. It should have unit vectors, that means it should have both magnitude and direction. We have calculated here, that is a product of n and j, where n is I cos theta, I cos alpha, j cos beta and k cos gamma, where this I, j, k are the unit vectors along x, y, z directions. Therefore, j is equal to minus lambda s by 3 dou phi by dou x at 0 into I cap dou phi by dou y at origin into j cap dou phi by plus dou phi by dou z at origin into k cap. Now you can notice that j is equal to minus lambda s by 3 dou by dou x into I cap plus dou by dou y into j cap plus dou by dou z into k cap is a differential operator. It is called as del operator. We represent it as del. Del is equal to I into dou by dou x plus j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by dou z. Hence j can be written as minus lambda s by 3, that is called as gradient operator or del operator, gradient of phi, or j is equal to, this is constant, minus lambda s by 3 is constant. You can call it as diffusion coefficient or diffusion constant in general. That is equal to J is equal to minus D grad phi. This is what actually called as fixed law of diffusion, or it is also called as neutron transport equation. Here this equation plays very significant role in understanding the mechanism by which the neutron gets diffused in the core of the reactor. This also plays very important role in estimating the leakage probability. The number of neutrons leaking per unit time, per unit volume is called as leakage rate, that is given by divergence of J, that is equal to del dot J, that is equal to minus lambda s by 3 into del square phi naught, or in other words, but this lambda s by 3, you know that we have taken it as D, this divergence of J will be equal to minus D del square phi. This del square phi is called the Laplacian operator. That this quantity, equation phi, is very important in order to calculate the leakage of the neutrons. This is how the neutron transport equation can be derived by using elementary theory of diffusion. This plays very significant role, and this derivation is also very important for the examination. I suggest all the students to practice this equation 2-3 times so that you will not do mistake. And also remember the importance of this equation, because in the later lectures I am going to use this equation for different shapes and sizes of the reactors. That's all for the day. Thank you very much.